Hi, welcome to my video on how you can use Typeform to create a branching and logic tool and feature to customize the learning path based on how students respond to certain questions in your test and or knowledge check. So the reason why I wanted to make this video is because nowadays I know a lot of us are curious about algorithms and data science and recommending learning path and recommending the next learning journey for our students. And so this is a great way to take advantage of branching and logic conditioning structure to suggest and help your students do better, hold themselves accountable, and to customize and ensure that they are on the right track to not only completing the course and also achieving mastery. So oftentimes students will complete and go through lessons in a course, and then when they get to the knowledge check, they'll find that they've missed some answers or they've gotten some answers wrong. Regardless of how they do, sometimes they may go back and re-review specific lessons, or they may continue on with the rest of the course. Now, regardless of which way a student chooses, what you can take advantage of with Typeform is in your knowledge checks and or assessments, you can, after each question, create a logic and condition to say, well, you got this answer wrong, and so why don't you set up a call with the instructor as like a virtual office hours, and let's just check in and see what's going on, because this is a red flag and I'm a little concerned. The other use case for this Typeform logic and branching is that you may want to, with certain questions, give a student a hint that says, okay, you're kind of close, but not quite getting the accurate answer, and so maybe here's what you need to do. So you give them an answer explanation, but you also give them suggestions on which module or which lesson to re-review. The other use case is that when you use Typeform, what you can do is at the end of a test, you can say, okay, based on these answers, I think you need to re-review X, Y, and Z sections. So with these kinds of examples, you're helping your students and holding them accountable. You're helping them to succeed, and you're helping them reach mastery. And all of this is really simple to customize and set up in Typeform. I'm going to now walk through the demo of how you actually set this up in Typeform and let you know that I am using the demo free account, but you can use a paid account. If you are using a free account in Typeform, what is important to know is that you're limited to 10 responses. So if you're looking to try this out on a small scale before you pilot this across all your courses, then the free plan might be good to start out with, just to sort of see how it's working for a small group of students. And then if you're ready and to take this to the next level, then you can upgrade to a paid plan. But I'm now going to show you the actual demo. Now in my demo, I'm only going to show you one question, because this video can be really too long if I go and create the entire test. So in this Typeform, you may be asking, well, how do I set it up so that it's easy to conceptualize and easy to visualize and easy to structure and set it up? So if you're looking to set this logic, conditional logic or branching scenario, let's start with the one question as an example. And then later on in another video, I'll show you how I continue to build on these questions in a knowledge check and or a quiz or a final test, so that you can see how it all flows together. So assuming this is this is one question in a quiz, and I'm teaching a general US history course, and these are the 4 options. And so you want to focus on thinking about this in parts. So first is the question. The question is really easy to change, so if you don't like the way it's worded, feel free to change it. I just kind of wanted to keep it simple, and I use the existing question instead of coming up with new questions. And then if you want to give some hints, like some question text, like, oh, this was referenced in module 1 where we talked about the history of the United States, you can add some description here. Now, the second part that you want to think about is the end screen, or what they call it endings. The idea is that each of these questions will show up a specific what they call end screen to guide your student, guide your learner, and to guide them on the right learning path. So you can say like, well, C is you can design it so that if the correct answer is A, then the end screen can be, thank you so much. We appreciate you taking the time to answer this question. And then you can use it, customize it to personalize it and customize it and add the name. And then now let's go back to this question again. That was A. Now that was the correct answer. Now let's just say B is also close but not the right answer. Then you can create an end screen, or what they call an ending. So you can say close and almost there, review module 1 again. And then go back to this question, and then C, which is like really not the correct answer, you can say, well, that was incorrect. You can do two options. You can set up an ending where it says incorrect, the answer is XYZ, and review module 3. Or you could go back and be like, well, this was really way off base. We clearly taught that there were 50 states in the US. And so because this student really didn't learn or grasp the material about the number of states, I want to have an end screen that's a little bit more of a warning sign. So then that's where I have an ending sign or ending screen called C, where I say, okay, we are a bit concerned. Please book a time with your instructor here to check in, and you can link to a Calendly or QD, whichever calendar you use. And if you upgrade to the paid version of Typeform, then this thank you button can be customized to say, book a call with your instructor. So that this, when they click on this link, it'll take them directly to the calendar link. So there is a word limit, so you'll have to play with it. Book a call, just say book a call with teacher. And that way it is a little bit more obvious what this button says. So those are the different options. And so that's a C. Now let me show you the other option that I created. So D is the answer choice is 40. And so I can say, well, there's 50 states, but if they got 40, they're kind of close. And maybe I'll say, okay, so close, but not quite there, re-review module 2. And then you can even, like I've done with the booking a call link, you can link module 2 here to the specific lesson, to the specific chapter in the course, and just give some text about, like, remember we talked about there were in this lesson how the US had 50 states or something like that, just to kind of refresh people's memory, jog their memory, and give them some background in case they forgot. So now I've shown you all the different options for the endings for each of the question choice. I want to then go back and show you how I've set this up. And so I've also set up some more options so that later on, if I want to change up the ending screen, I can different ones. So like instead of the thank you so much one for the right answer, I can change it to say, nice job, this is correct because of XYZ, feel free to re-review. And so then that's another option, or I can even change the other options to say, well, it's incorrect, re-review. And it's all really simple. If you go to endings and you click on this plus, it will ask you to choose an end screen, and then I'll also give you an end screen where they redirect to the URL, but this is a paid version and I'm on a basic free plan to kind of show you what your options are. But if you go to end screen, this is where it's blank here. You want to just kind of put some text and say, okay, congratulations, you got the answer right. And then put some more text. Remember that these buttons can be removed. And then this button can be also, text can be customized to say, keep going, to say, okay, you got the answer right. Now please proceed with the rest of the course. Now that you've set up your endings, now this is where the logic is really crucial, because how it shows up correctly is what will make it really easy for your learners. So if I go to my logic, I can see my logic map. And so this is my welcome screen. This is the which course to fill in, which course is this quiz for, just to test whether students are paying attention, but you can remove that if you like. And then this is the first question that we've set up. And these are basically, these arrows point to the different options in terms of the end screen. And then 3, 4, 5, and 6 would be the rest of the questions that I'll show you in another video. So if we go back to the question, okay, so I'm going to make this a little bit bigger again. And so, sorry, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So question number 2, I want to focus on the logic. And this is where I'm going to look at the logic flow for question number 2. And this is where these if-then statements are really helpful. And as I've suggested, you might want to consider writing it out, because it's easier sometimes to write it out on pen and paper before you actually start working in Typeform. So assuming, let's just go back to this question, which of the following is the number of states in the US? Now let's just say they answered 25, and we know 25 was way off base because we remembered emphasizing that there was 50. Then we can say, well, if they got 25, then they definitely missed something, and we can select the end screen. And so that one would be, we could do the incorrect and re-review, or we can say, wow, 25 was way off base, and we can say book a time with your instructor. And so this is just to set the logic so that if a student answers 25, then the end screen for C, where it says book a time with your instructor, will show up. Now again, let's keep going. If they answer their 48 states, and so they're close, then we can select the end screen where it says close, you're almost there, and review module 1 again. Now we can say then, let's just say they answered D, 40, so they were close, but they're not that close. So then we'll say, okay, the answers, will then set the logic to go to end screen. So we'll look for the end screen F, which says incorrect, the answer is XYZ, and re-review modules 3. And you can, as I've shown you before, you can link to it, or you can, in the button, directly link to the lesson that covered that material. So now, as you can see, we went over 25, 48, 40. And now let's just, now we didn't do what if they got the right answer? What would the end screen be? So then we can say, well, if they got the answer right, then we can say, nice job, and take them to this end screen. And so this is just how you set it up, all based on logic. And it probably might be better if you went in order of A, B, C, D when you're thinking of the logic flow, but because I started backwards, I just kind of went C, B, D, and A. But you get the idea that you're just setting up the question, setting up the different endings / end screens, and then going into your question and setting up the logic to tell your students, based on their answer response, what do they see. So I hope this is helpful. Now I'm going to give you a preview of what it looks like when I embed this test into my Thinkific course. So thank you for watching, and feel free to leave a comment in the description below if you'd like to see more of how I can build the rest of this branching and logic inside Typeform. Let me know how I can help each and every one of you build and start your teaching business online, and give me any feedback. Reach out to me with questions. Thank you again for watching and supporting my channel, and I will see you all soon.